Lesson 8. Describing People. Personality. Hello and welcome to this lesson. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most interesting topics in English, how to describe someone's personality. We will look at intellectual ability, attitudes towards life, how people treat others, and also how the same trait can be seen as positive or negative depending on your point of view. So, let us get started. Intellectual ability. First, let us talk about intelligence. There are many ways to say someone is smart. We have words like intelligent, bright, clever, sharp, and shrewd. We also have able, gifted, talented, and in informal conversation, we might say brainy. All of these describe someone with lots of ability. On the other hand, if someone lacks ability, we have words like stupid, foolish, simple, silly, brainless, and daft. Some informal words include dumb, dim, and thick. Now, be careful, these last 5 are informal and they can all be offensive, so use them with caution. There is also a group of words that describe someone who is clever in a negative way, using their brain to trick or deceive others. These include cunning, crafty, and sly. Attitudes towards life. Now, let us move on to people's general attitudes towards life. Imagine 2 people. Amal is pessimistic. He always expects the worst to happen. But Nia is optimistic. She always looks on the bright side. That is a big difference in outlook. It is also interesting to look at personality in social situations. For example, one twin might be very extroverted. He loves being the center of attention. But the other twin is introverted. He prefers to be alone with his thoughts. They are complete opposites. Now, think about how we feel after a busy day. I often feel very tense, wound up, or stressed out after work. But after a hot bath, I soon feel relaxed. So, we have words to describe both the stress and the calm. Let us also talk about 2 words that are often confused, sensible and sensitive. Eva is very sensible. She is practical and would never do anything stupid. We could also say she is down to earth. On the other hand, Roberto is very sensitive. He gets very upset or worked up if he feels people are criticizing him. So, they mean very different things. Attitude towards other people. Next, let us look at how people behave towards others. If someone enjoys other people's company, we call them sociable or gregarious. If someone often disagrees with others, they might be quarrelsome or argumentative. And if someone takes pleasure in others' pain, we use words like cruel or sadistic. Those are quite strong. On a more positive note, someone with a relaxed attitude towards themselves and others can be described as easygoing, even-tempered, or laid-back. If someone is not polite, we might call them impolite, rude, ill-mannered, or discourteous. And if someone always tells the truth, we say they are honest, trustworthy, reliable, or sincere. Finally, if someone is unhappy because others have something they do not, we call them jealous or envious. One person's meat is another person's poison. Now, here is a very important point. Some characteristics can be seen as either positive or negative, depending on your point of view. The words in the right column mean roughly the same as those in the left, but they have negative connotations. Let us go through some examples. If someone is determined, that is positive. But if we say they are obstinate, stubborn, or pig-headed, that is negative. It means they refuse to change their mind. If someone is thrifty, they are careful with money, which is good. But if we say they are mean, tight-fisted, or miserly, that is negative. It suggests they are too stingy. If someone is self-assured, they are confident in a good way. But if we say they are self-important, arrogant, or full of yourself, that is negative. If someone is unconventional, they are different and creative. But if we say they are eccentric, odd, peculiar, or weird, that is more negative. If someone is frank, they are honest and direct. But if we say they are blunt, abrupt, brusque, or curt, they come across as rude. If someone is broad-minded, they are open to new ideas. But if we say they are unprincipled or permissive, that suggests they have no moral standards. If someone is inquiring, they are curious in a good way. But if we say they are inquisitive or nosy, they are too interested in other people's business. If someone is generous, they give a lot. But if we say they are extravagant, they spend too much money. If someone is innocent, they are pure and trusting. But if we say they are naive, they are too trusting and easily fooled. If someone is ambitious, they want to succeed, which is positive. But if we say they are pushy, they are too aggressive in getting what they want. Finally, if someone is assertive, they stand up for themselves in a positive way. But if we say they are aggressive or bossy, they are too forceful and controlling. So remember, context and tone matter a lot when describing personality. The same trait can be a strength or a weakness, depending on how you look at it.